Okay, I just got done doing my shoulder exercises, and then I'm going to briefly describe what construction things I've been working on. Okay, here is the issue. I wanted to put extra outlets in the gym room so I could put lights up across the top of the ceiling, plug in lights, so that the gym room would be brighter. Well, I already knew that some of the wiring was not like I wanted it to be whenever I have messed with the breaker box before, because the I'm just going to explain electrical components really quickly. A 12 gauge wire is thicker than a 14 gauge wire. A 12 gauge wire goes on a 20 amp breaker, and a 15 goes with a 14 gauge wire, and it's a 15 amp breaker. Okay, so there's that bedroom has 12 gauge wires on it, and I was like, oh, because the amp is a 15. Okay, so it should be a 20. And I'm like, well, can I spare myself some time if I attach 12 gauge wires to 15 amp outlets? It did not work. I have what is it called, GCFI, which is a outlet that protects you. It also protects you if anything happens with water. Okay, so that and faulty wiring, I suppose. So it was tripping after I tried to do that, and I was trying to figure out why. It still won't work. And so I have to, like, what I've decided to do is it's gonna be a lot longer of a job because of how I'm gonna do it, but I needed to figure something out anyways. Okay, so in a breaker box, you have the incoming wire, which stays hot. Okay, you have to keep away from that wire when you're working inside of a breaker box, even if you have the breaker box turned off. Okay, so there's like massive amounts of wires that run up through the ceiling, and they come down through your walls where the outlets are. Okay, so if I am scared, right, and I'm like, I know I need to do some wiring to fix this situation so it will work, I will go ahead and probably put in a sub panel, which a sub panel is taking, like, if I used a 100 amp circuit breaker, I would put that in the existing breaker box with a wire going I would do it this way, going through to a smaller breaker box, and then it will hold up to 100 amps worth of circuit breakers, and then I could have that amp on the other side turned off so that I could get my wires up through the ceiling without having to get near that hot cord that powers the breaker box. Okay, so that's probably what I'm going to do. And it seems like the smartest option, but it is very frustrating. Okay, this is one thing that I wanted to talk about: electrical codes. Okay, obviously there are people who think they can get away without following codes. Now, that is I don't like the way that those discussions are designed, as how it's talked about on the internet about a bunch of city codes, or however that goes. I think the more appropriate thing is to say, look, here is what is safe, here is what is not safe. You better do it that way and not try to do it an alternative way to save yourself time or save yourself money or whatever it is, because that's dangerous. And instead of being like, the city does not want you to do it like that, you just do it for your own safety. And then also the other reason is, okay, so at first, whenever I was trying to like replace, because my house is more than 30 years old, I replaced a few of the breakers, and the person who had done the wiring before, like, had broke out part of a breaker just because it didn't fit in the box like it was supposed to. So there's different types of breakers and different brands which fit breaker boxes, and this person didn't want to like go get the correct fit, so they just broke out some plastic at the back of it. And I'm like, oh, I can't stand things like that. And so it's like, these are things that, like, not only does it, like, because someone who moves into a house where there's been work done before, like, you don't have the person who did that work here. So you have to, like, kind of go, like, with a general rule of thumb as to how things are typically done. And if that person was not doing things correctly, then it's even harder for yourself to try and learn how to be an electrician or whatever it is. And it's annoying. It's extremely annoying. So, there's my spiel about electricity. Now, I don't know if I want to go ahead and continue to my next topic, which is not really related, but it's something else that annoyed me today. Okay. I think I'm going to stop it to the next video. There's there's a few things that I have on my mind, and I'm going to try and be more organizational about it. Okay.